If everybody could go ahead and head to their seats, we're going to get started here in a matter of moments. You can go ahead and make your way to your seats. We'll get started here in a matter of moments. Thank you. All right, folks, we're going to go ahead and get started. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started since we're already past 6 o'clock. You could please take your seat. We'd like to introduce you to the folks that are going to be up here on the podium and those that are being recognized tonight. Folks, once again, thank you for joining us. My name is Greg Rakestraw. I'm with the ISC Sports Network. Coming up this weekend, I'll have the honor of being on the 3A and 4A call for the IHSAA State Championship Games on Valley Sports, Indiana. It is the second time that I have had the honor of being the Master of Ceremonies for the Men's Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame Induction Banquet. And for those of you that might feel, hey, didn't we just do this? The answer is yes, we did. We did this in October the 9th to be exact, that recognized the banquets that we could not have in March of 2020 and March of 2021. It is great to be back on schedule, and it is great to have our traditional date just 3 days out from the upcoming playing of the boys basketball state championship games. I want to recognize the folks that will be recognized as part of our ceremonies this evening. First of all, representing the center circle officials, Gary Leisner, Ron Grimes, representing John Evans, Susan Evans. Our silver anniversary team, those players that played 25 years ago, Josh Whitman, Ben Tonigal, Cam Stevens, Steven Starks, Caleb Springer, Kyle Runyon, Matt Wren, Luke Recker, Cedric Moody, Michael Menser, Chad Lacrosse, already joining us on stage, Mr. Chad Hunter, Tom Geyer, Andy Foster, Chris DeJean, Don Carlisle, and Travis Best. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our soon-to-be Hall of Famers, John Sherman Williams, Craig Neal, Doug Mitchell, Gary Merrill, Sam Simmermaker. Sam's already in a Hall of Fame. Sam will be introducing our silver anniversary teams coming up here in a matter of moments. Our president, not to mention an honoree tonight, Mr. Mark Boltz. Ray Mccallum. Jerry Flake. Gary Duncan. The Southern Indiana folks got front row seats tonight, apparently. Al Brown. Napoleon Branford. And last but not least, Wayne Boltinghouse. While those at the podium are standing, we ask that all of you please rise for a moment. Dr. Phil Eskew will provide our invocation in a matter of moments, but a reminder that we have an in memoriam for those that we have lost over the course of the last year or two on page 17 of your program. So if you don't mind, please take a moment of silence with me and remember those that could not be with us here tonight. Thank you very much. Again, please remain standing. Dr. Phil Eskew provides our invocation for this evening.
According to your own beliefs, let's bow our heads. As we are celebrating the lives of our honorees this evening, let us remain mindful of the turmoil in our world, and especially the events of the last month in Ukraine. We gather here this evening to praise and honor the lives and careers of our living and deceased inductees. Each honoree has been blessed with talents that enable them to succeed both on the court and in their daily lives. We thank our honorees for living their lives in a way that has inspired us to model our own lives and those of younger players after them. Our deceased inductees will be forever remembered and recognized by the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. We pause to give thanks for the many coaches, teachers, and teammates that motivated and touched their lives. We give thanks for their parents and family who sacrificed, took them to many practices and games, encouraged them to play by the rules, to persevere, to never give up, and to be a great teammate. We give thanks for the leadership and vision of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. We ask blessings on all who have gathered this evening as we acknowledge the accomplishments of our honorees. Bless this food for the nourishment of our bodies and give thanks to those who prepared it. Guide all of us as we return to our homes safely with renewed memories of the wonderful game of basketball. Amen.
Folks, please have a seat. That includes all of you up here on the dais as well. Now's the best part of the night. Well, for some of us at least anyway. Dinner time. The wonderful folks here at Primo's will be around your table and will serve you as quickly as we can. We will commence our program again at about 7 o'clock. This is a reminder to you, if you've got friends or family that could not make it tonight, we are streaming tonight's event at iscsportsnetwork.com, or if you happen to be a Comcast subscriber around the state of Indiana, you can watch tonight's event on Channel 81. Thank you very much. Enjoy your dinner. Back with you in a few minutes. Thank you. Please. Any of those slots? Very kind. What did you have? Must have been a typo. You two guys should be sitting together. See you, buddy. Good, you? Boltz, what do you think? Yep. I'm literally doing the exact same thing. Thank you. I'll give everybody about 4 or 5 minutes more. Sound good? All right, folks. Take this time to maybe visit the bar one more time. Go say hello to that neighbor. We're going to get started here in about 5 minutes. Football has a 2-minute warning. This event has a 5-minute warning. We'll commence our awards ceremonies in about 5 minutes. Thank you. You about ready to go? All right, if everyone could start to head back to their seats, we'll get going here in about a minute or two. You could start to head back to your seats. We'll get started with this evening's program. Thank you. All right, folks, let's go ahead and get started with our festivities this evening. Again, if you're still in line for a beverage, stay right there. I'm sure they'll take care of you. There was a gentleman that brought 6 up here with them, so hopefully they don't run out back there. We'll make sure we get everybody taken care of. Before we officially get started with our presentation for the evening, first of all, how about some wonderful recognition for the outstanding crew here at Primo's Banquet Hall. We are looking at in the neighborhood of between 800 and 900 people that are here this evening, and they served everyone their dinner within the span of about 20 or 25 minutes. That is no easy task, and the folks at Primo's get it right from a dinner standpoint each and every time. There was a gentleman that handled the Master of Ceremonies duties here for many years and did a tremendous job. He's not of retirement age. He's just busy running the day-to-day operations of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. So Chris May, wherever you are, thank you for having me do this tonight, and congratulations, Chris, on another job well done. And I'm sure the first person that Chris would recognize would be Kayla Kessler and so many of the other volunteers and day-to-day staff of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in Newcastle. So to all of the staff of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, thanks for what you do to share the history and continue to grow this wonderful sport here in the state of Indiana. I think I will get the lion's share of microphone time for the evening as the Master of Ceremonies, but the person that might be close is the gentleman to my right, because tonight he is the Pacers Silver Medal Award winner, but he also happens to be the relatively newly christened of the president of the board of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. So for the first of a couple of occasions this evening, please welcome Mark Boltz.
We got that on recording, don't you? Referees don't get applause. Usually I'm up here presenting the Center Circle Award, which I'll do here shortly, and I get a spattering of applause and a lot of boos, but I really like that round of applause. Thank you very much. I'm going to continue with what Greg said. He's our excellent master of ceremonies, but on behalf of Chris May, our executive director, and Kayla Kessler, his assistant, Cheryl Betton, our operations manager, and Trip Lukemeyer, our director of development, the staff in Newcastle, all of our 50-plus volunteers in Henry County that work diligently at the Hall of Fame, those of you that were there today, got to take part and see what our facility is really all about, the ones that haven't had the opportunity to be there. Those that have been there before, I know have seen a lot of changes, and believe me, we've got more to come. So we're looking forward to your continued support of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. And on behalf of our officers, executive committee, and board, welcome to our 60th annual banquet. As Greg said, you'll be hearing from me a couple more times this evening, but I want to get started. As he said, I just took over as president. It seemed like yesterday, but I'm almost a year into my first of my 2-year term, so I'm about halfway done already. But time really flies when you're having fun. Also flies when you're old too, so most of you I can identify with that as well. But the first order of business this evening is I get to present my first ever President's Award, and I am pleased to present this award to an individual who has been a great help to me as I was climbing the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame so-called corporate ladder, from being a board member to a regional vice president, then secretary, which is the worst job in the world, then vice president, and then last summer I assumed the presidency. I will not tell you the story that's related to that. You've probably read it if you read it in the magazine and all that stuff and heard about the earthquake and everything. But anyway, my honoree this evening and recipient of the President's Award served as my mentor, as he too served in this same capacity for an extended term and was another excellent servant in a long line of people who have served this position well in our beloved Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to honor this evening and present my initial President's Award to none other than my friend and predecessor, Hall of Famer Jerry Pearson. Jerry, come on up. See, I told you I'd be back again, just like a bad penny. Here we go. Each year, the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame honors 3 men for their contributions as Indiana high school boys basketball officials and become recipients of the Center Circle Officials Award. Tonight, 3 outstanding officials are recognized for their contributions to our great game. As they are introduced, we ask each recipient to come to the stage, where they will be met by Terry Magnuson, a 2011 Center Circle official honoree, and the 2016 National Federation Boys Basketball Official of the Year, who will present our recipients with their plaques. Tonight's first honoree is Ron Grimes. Ron is a 1966 graduate of Brownsburg High School, where he played basketball, football, and baseball. He played 3 years of football at Indiana State University and 1 year of basketball and baseball before graduating with degrees in physical education. His officiating career has included more than 40 sectionals, 31 regionals, 8 semi-states, 1 state final in 2004, and he also officiated 3 Hall of Fame Classic tournament assignments. A past member of the Southwestern Officials Association, he is also a member and past president of the Mid-State Officials Association. His career has also included NCAA Division III first and second round basketball tournament assignments. The Grimes family has become a Hall of Fame family, as brother John, the longtime men's coach at Marian University, was a 2019 inductee into the Hall of Fame as a Silver Medal Award winner. Ron resides in Bedford. Congratulations to 2022 Center Circle Official Honoree, Mr. Ron Grimes. Our next 2022 Center Circle honoree is Gary Leisner. Gary is a graduate of Du Bois High School, where he played baseball. His extensive officiating career included 45 sectionals, 24 regionals, 13 semi-states, 3 boys state finals, 89, 93, and 97, 1 girls state final in 98. He worked over 1,000 games since 1967, started the same year I did, including 3 Hall of Fame Classics in 93, 95, and 2007. He's a member of the Southwestern Indiana Officials Association for over 40 years, a past member of the South Central Officials Association. While he was an officer in the Southwestern Association, he attended state and national rules clinics and officiating camps. He is retired from his ownership in Du Bois County of Crystal Turkey Farms. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Gary Leisner. Finally, we recognize the late John Evans. John was a graduate of Indianapolis Manual High School. He was an athlete on the basketball and football teams. He continued his academic career and played football at Indiana Central College. John worked 17 sectionals, 11 regionals, 4 semi-states, and 1 state final in 1992. In addition, he was on the call of the 1984 Hall of Fame Classic Championship game in Columbus, Indiana, along with numerous Indianapolis City and Marion County tournament assignments. He also officiated the 1991 Class 4A Indiana Football State Championship. He was a past president and a member of the board of directors of the Indiana Officials Association. He also was chair of the downtown Indianapolis Kiwanis State Finals Luncheon and helped create their Jim Mills Scholarship Award. Among those on hand representing the Evans family tonight are his widow Susie and son John, and accepting John's award this evening is Susie Evans. Congratulations to 2022 Center Circle Award honoree, the late John Evans and his family. Congratulations, Susie.
Mark, thank you very much. The next order of business for tonight's festivities is to recognize past state championship teams and their anniversary. We do this at the 100-year mark, the 50-year mark, and the 25-year mark as well. And again, if it just seemed like we had one of these banquets 6 or 7 months ago, we did. And we started that banquet the same way we're starting this banquet, by recognizing the Wonder Five from Franklin High School, who were the state champions for a 3rd consecutive time in 1922. The Wonder Five down Terre Haute Garfield, 26-15. It's a high-scoring game back then. They were the first team to win 3 consecutive state championships, a feat that was not equaled until the Marion Giants in Purple Rain from 1985 through 1987, and Lawrence North that did it from 2004 through 2006. The head coach of Franklin was Ernest Grizz Wagner. You ever wondered why the Franklin College is called the Grizzlies? Coach Wagner would be the reason why. They won the sectional tournament on their first try in 1918 and then won state championships in 1920, 21, and 22. Robert Fuzzy Vanderveer, the star of that team, remains a legend in Indiana high school basketball. He was a member of the starting 5 each year of his high school career, played in the state finals round of 16 every year, and he was a starter and leader of all 3 of those state championship teams, and he was the first player ever to be selected All-State in 3 consecutive years. Coach Wagner and Fuzzy Vanderveer were voted in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame's inaugural class in 1962, and Fuzzy was elected to the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame in 1975. Ladies and gentlemen, your champions from 100 years ago, Franklin High School. And with that, we will now recognize our champions from 50 years ago. That would be the Connersville Spartans. Want to make sure we welcome Steve Brett up to the podium to present the plaques to those that could join us here tonight. Connersville won the first Indiana high school basketball state tournament that was held at Assembly Hall. The date was March 18th, 1972. Connersville won the championship game by a score of 80-63 over Gary West. The state championship record crowd at that time was over 17,400 fans. They won the title, did Connersville, in just their 3rd trip to the Final Four. The Spartans got to the championship game by beating what was then a fellow South Central Conference rival in Jeffersonville in double overtime, 76-69. Coach Myron Dickerson was elected to the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame in 1995. And the late Phil Cox was selected, 1972's Indiana Mr. Basketball, and entered the ranks of the Hall of Fame in 2009. Amongst those representing the team tonight, Jim Free. Jeffrey Jones. And head coach Myron Dickerson. Ladies and gentlemen, the champions from 1972, the Connersville Spartans. Of the many great things that we saw with the return of crowds to high school basketball games this year, the crowds at the Spartan Bowl were absolutely tremendous. And if you have never been to a game at Connersville, that is an absolute must to check off your bucket list. Want to welcome to the stage Chad Gilbert, who will be presenting the plaques to our 25th anniversary state championship team. That would be the 1997 Bloomington North Cougars. In March of 1997, the IHSAA held its 87th and final single-class boys basketball state tournament. Over 26,000 fans were on hand at the RCA Dome to watch Bloomington North down Delta by a score of 75-54. Bloomington High School North became the 49th different team to win a state championship, and Cougar head coach Tom McKinney, winning his first state championship, became the 61st gentleman to coach a team to a state championship. Ryan Reed and Queth Dwaney led the Cougars in the state championship game, each scoring 17 points. In the afternoon game, Bloomington North beat Kokomo by a score of 50-43, led by Jeremy Sinsabaw's 15 and Ryan Reed's 13. Members of the 1997 state championship winning team that are able to join us tonight, Jabril Conte, Matt Reed. I'm going to unintentionally photobomb a bunch of pictures the entire night. Josh Wenning. David McKinney. Assistant coach, Kurt Simic. Head coach, Tom McKinney. And sometimes in the notes, there is a player to be named later. Coach Steve Philbeck is here. Coach, congratulations. Gotcha. Ladies and gentlemen, the 1997 Bloomington North Cougars. By the way, congratulations to the Cougars of present day. They gave Cathedral a heck of a battle in the second half in the semi-state championship game in 4A down at the Hatchet House this past Saturday. Now it is time we just recognized a team that won a championship 25 years ago. We're now about to recognize 18 great players from that 1997 season. And with that, a gentleman that has done these duties exquisitely for many, many years. He has been a part of the radio scene in South Central Indiana for over 60 years as the voice of the Columbus East Olympians and the Columbus North Bulldogs for WCSI, 1010 AM and 98.1 FM. Ladies and gentlemen, an Indiana broadcasting legend, Mr. Sam Simmermaker.
Hi, and a pleasant good evening, everybody. I want to make a motion that we name some numerous nifty netters from the 90s. That would be the 2022 Silver Anniversary team, and I'd like to get a second from Mr. Rakestraw, if possible.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Thank you. Here we go. The 2022 Silver Anniversary team, and handing out the hardware representing the Hall of Fame, Jim Fisher and Dave Warland. Small print. The 1997 Indiana All-Star Travis Best of Frankfort. Bloomington Herald Times First Team All-State, AP's Second Team All-State, and Indianapolis News Second Team All-State after averaging 18.8 points and 9 rebounds as a senior for the 18-6 conference and sectional championship team. Set Frankfort records in career wins, career assists, career steals, fourth in career scoring. 1996 and 1995, IBCA underclass first team All-State, a part of teams going 79 and 19 over 4 seasons with 4 sectional titles and 4 conference titles. Played 2 seasons at the University of Louisville before completing his career as a team captain at Purdue. He's been owner of Indiana's best basketball club, Travis Best Camps, Clinics, and Training, and he resides in Lafayette. Travis Best of Frankfort. Don Carlisle, Ben Davis, averaged 12.4 points, 9 rebounds as a senior for the 18-5 sectional champions. 2-year career totals: 544 points, 371 rebounds for teams that were 40-11, including winning the 1996 state championship. He earned All-County, was a City-County All-Star, All-Sectional, All-Regional, All-Semi-State, and All-State during his career. 3 years at IUPUI totaled 1,182 points, second in career rebounds, and among program leaders in career steals. He led the Mid-Continent Conference in rebounding twice, earned all-conference honors twice, played professionally for 12 years. He's a PE teacher and head coach at Ben Davis, where he led the Giants to a 4A championship game appearance in his first season. Don Carlisle of Ben Davis High School. Jamal Davis of Merrillville High will not be attending. A 1997 Indiana All-Star, AP First Team All-State, IBCA First Team All-State, Bloomington Herald Times First Team All-State, and Indianapolis News Second Team All-State. Averaged 18.1 points for the 21-3 sectional champs. Earned All-State honors 3 years, earning consensus All-State honors as a junior, 18.9 scoring average, on the 18-6 sectional champs, first team underclass All-State as a soph, averaging 12.7 for the 27-2 state runner-up. Set Merrillville career scoring record, 1,275 points. Played freshman season at Purdue, sophomore year at Barton Community College, 2 seasons at the University of Cincinnati, starting 34 games for their 25-10 team that reached the Sweet 16, started 33 games for their 2002 team that was ranked number 5 in the nation and a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament. He played professionally in the USBL and in Germany. Jamal Davis of Merrillville. Chris DeJohn, Franklin Central High, 1997 Indiana All-Star, 1997 Marion County Player of the Year, Bloomington Herald Times Second Team All-State, IBCA Third Team All-State, Indianapolis News Third Team All-State, and AP High Honorable Mention All-State after averaging 17.2 points for the 22-3 conference championship team. He earned All-Conference 3 years, a 2-time All-County selection, leading teams to a 62-10 record, including 3 conference titles, the 1996 24-2 sectional championship team. Career totals of 937 points, 476 rebounds, then played 4 seasons at the University of Indianapolis, averaging career bests, 8.5 points, 5.2 rebounds per game as a senior. Earned academic all-conference honors for 4 years, employed with Wells Fargo Bank since 2001. He is a senior vice president and resides in Indianapolis. Chris DeJohn of Franklin Central. Andy Foster, Frankfort High School, IBCA Second Team All-State, Bloomington Herald Times Second Team All-State, Indianapolis News Third Team All-State, set the Frankfort career scoring record of 1,612 points, was Lafayette Courier-Journal Player of the Year, and Sagamore Conference Player of the Year after averaging 23.8 for the 18-6 sectional champions. He was a 1996 Indiana Junior All-Star, 1996 First Team IBCA Underclass All-State, averaged 22.3 for the 18-5 sectional champs. He earned 3-year all-conference and all-regional honors on teams that were 79-19, winning 4 Sagamore Conference championships, 4 sectional titles. He played at the University of Indianapolis, racking up 1,778 career points in 82 career games. That's an 18.8 point per game average, and he resides in Whitestown. Andy Foster of Frankfort High School. Tom Geyer, Lawrence North High School. 1997 Indiana All-Star, Bloomington Herald Times Second Team All-State, Indianapolis News Third Team All-State, AP High Honorable Mention All-State, after averaging 15.8 points and 9.0 rebounds as a senior. He tied Lawrence North's record, previously held by Eric Montross, with 126 career blocks, along with 809 points and 527 rebounds as a 3-year starter. Drafted out of high school by the Arizona Diamondbacks, he instead played basketball at Indiana University for 2 seasons. From 2001 to 2004, he was a graduate assistant to Bob Knight at Texas Tech, and also served as color commentator on Texas Tech TV and radio networks. Earning an MBA and a law degree at Texas Tech, he is a partner in Newbold, Chapman, and Geyer PC law firm in Durango, Colorado. Tom Geyer, Lawrence North. More. Chad Hunter, New Albany High School. 1997 Indiana All-Star and consensus first-team All-State selection by AP, IBCA, Indianapolis News, and Bloomington Herald Times after averaging 19.7 points, 8.5 rebounds per game for the 23-4 regional champs. He set the New Albany career scoring record of 1,463 points while a part of teams that went 92-15 over 4 years with 4 sectional titles, 3 regional titles, and 1994 and 1996 state finals appearances. Recruited to play at Indiana State, knee injuries prevented him from playing for the Sycamores. Since 2008, he's been pastor at the New Dimension Church in New Albany and a member of the New Albany Park Board. Chad Hunter, New Albany High School. Chad Lacrosse, East Noble High School. 1997 Indiana All-Star, IBCA Second Team All-State, Bloomington Herald Times Second Team All-State, and AP High Honorable Mention All-State. Averaged 18.3 for the 25-2 regional champions. Totaled 825 points in 2 seasons, earning 2-time all-conference honors on teams that went 46-6, winning 2 sectional and 2 regional titles. A 3-time NAIA All-American at Tri-State, 2-time WHAC Conference Player of the Year after totaling 2,636 career points, 1,167 rebounds. He averaged 21.5 points as a junior, led the nation with 27.3 points and 12.1 rebounds per game as a senior. He played professionally in the USBL and in Mexico. He is the head coach of the University of St. Francis in Fort Wayne, where he's a winningest coach in program history. 266-114, leading them to 4 NAIA Final Fours, including 3 national runner-up finishes. 2016 NAIA National Coach of the Year, Chad Lacrosse, East Noble High. Michael Menser, Batesville High School. 1997 Indiana All-Star, runner-up for Mr. Basketball, consensus first-team All-State selection by AP, IBCA, Indianapolis News, and Bloomington Herald Times. Set school records at 1,700 career points, 414 assists, and an 87% career free throw percentage. Set school season records in points, assists, free throw percent, and 3-point field goal percent. Was a member of teams that went 86-15, winning 4 conference titles, 4 sectionals, 1 regional, and the 1996 Hall of Fame Classic, where he was named Classic MVP. At Indiana State University, he totaled 1,301 career points, set the school record in career 3-point field goals made, 283, and was among program leaders in steals and assists. He was part of 4 consecutive winning seasons, culminating in 2000 and 2001's NCAA tournament berths. He led the nation in assist-to-turnover ratio and was most outstanding player of the Missouri Valley Conference tournament. Now the assistant principal at Plainfield High School, Michael Menser of Batesville. Cedric Moody, South Bend, Washington. 1997 Indiana All-Star, Bloomington Herald Times First Team All-State, 1996 and 1997 AP High Honorable Mention All-State, an IBCA Honorable Mention All-State after averaging 26.4 points for the sectional champions. Set school records of 1,607 points, 649 points in one season, earning 3-time All-NIC honors, including 1997 NIC Player of the Year. Played 2 seasons at Ball State, averaging 10.2 points as a soph on their MAC championship team. Played 1 season at the University of Indianapolis, averaging 10.3 points as a senior. Played professionally from 2002 to 2014, including the USBL, ABA, Harlem Globetrotters, in Canada and Argentina, and he is a basketball trainer in South Bend. Cedric Moody of South Bend, Washington. Luke Recker, DeKalb. 1997 Indiana All-Star, Indiana Mr. Basketball, Gatorade Indiana Player of the Year, 1997 McDonald's All-American, Parade All-American, 1997 USA Junior National Team, USA Today's Second Team All-American, Consensus First Team All-State Selection, set school records of 208 career points, 419 career assists, along with season records of scoring average, field goals, steals, and single game scoring, 49, for a 26-4 team that won a regional championship. A part of teams that won 4 sectional titles, he was named All-State in his sophomore and junior seasons. He averaged double-figure scoring in all 4 seasons of his college career, in 66 games at Indiana and 57 at Iowa, including on their 2001 Big Ten tournament champions and earning all Big Ten honors. He played professionally for 7 seasons in the NBA D League, Italy, and Spain. He's Director of Sales with Stryker Medical and resides in Iowa. Luke Recker of DeKalb. Matt Wren, Silver Creek. First team small school All-State. AP High Honorable Mention All-State. IBCA Honorable Mention All-State after averaging 25.7 points, 15.9 rebounds, 5.4 assists, and 6.0 steals for the 16-5 Dragons. Totaled 1,150 career points and was the state's leading rebounder and leader in steals his senior season. He led Silver Creek to a 48-17 record and 2 Mid-Southern Conference titles over his final 3 seasons. Played at Indiana State University. Graduated 9th in career points, 4th in rebounds, 7th in assists, and 5th in steals. He was first team All-Missouri Valley Conference as a senior, 15.8 points, 7.5 rebounds, 3.2 assists, with the Sycamores MVC Tournament Championship team that advanced to the second round of the NCAA tournament with an upset of 4th seed Oklahoma, also named 2001 Academic All-American. He played professionally in France with averages of 21.7 points, 7.8 rebounds, 2.4 assists, 3.3 steals a game. He has been the Indiana State men's basketball radio and TV analyst for the past 14 years, is a realtor and math teacher at Terre Haute North, Matt Wren of Silver Creek. Kyle Runyon of Madison Grant. 1997 Indiana All-Star, Bloomington Herald Times First Team All-State, AP Second Team All-State, IBCA Second Team All-State, and Indianapolis News Third Team All-State. Averaged 25.2 points as a senior, set school records of 1,579 career points, career three-point field goal percentage, single season points, single game points, averaged 21.7 as a junior for the 21-4 sectional championship team. Was 2-time Grant County Player of the Year, 3-time All-Conference. Named to the MVC All-Newcomer team at the University of Evansville. Totaled 895 points in 114 career games, including the Aces 23-10 MVC champion and NCAA tournament team. Having coached at Pike Central and Gibson Southern high schools, he is a business teacher at Gibson Southern and lives in Hobstadt. His wife, Adrienne Seitz Runyon, was a 2020 Women's Silver Anniversary Team honoree. Kyle Runyon, Madison Grant High. Caleb Springer, Logansport. 1997 Indiana All-Star, AP Second Team All-State, IBCA Second Team All-State, Bloomington Herald Times Second Team All-State, Indianapolis News Second Team All-State, and Street and Smith's High Honorable Mention All-American. Set school record of 2,042 career points after averaging over 20 per game as a sophomore, junior, and senior on 3 sectional championship teams, and being named All North Central Conference 4 times. Totaled 1,337 points in 106 games, 12.6 points per game at Rollins College, with a record 254 career three-point field goals made. He's involved in family business and is a photographer. Caleb Springer, Logansport High School. Stephen Starks, Fort Wayne Northrop High School. Bloomington Herald Times second team All-State, AP Honorable Mention All-State, IBCA Honorable Mention, after averaging 25 points per game and shooting 51% from the field as a senior. He led the SAC in scoring and was the 12th leading scorer in the state that season. A participant in the top 40 workout, 5-star camp All-Star, and SAC All-Conference. He averaged 14.6 points as a junior, totaled 1,048 at Drexel University, where he was a unanimous first-team American East All-Conference pick and the conference scoring leader in 2001 at 19.4 points per game. Selected in the 2001 NBA D-League draft, played professionally in the Dominican Republic and Mexico. Earning a law degree, he has had a noted and accomplished law career, including as clerk in the Indiana Supreme Court with the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, IndyCar, Penske Entertainment, and is currently Senior Counsel of Concerts for Live Nation Entertainment in Dallas, Texas. Stephen Starks, Fort Wayne Northrop. Cameron Stevens, Fort Wayne South. 1997 Indiana All-Star, Conference First Team All-State Selection, AP, IBCA, Bloomington Herald Times, and Indianapolis News. After averaging 21.5 points and 12.3 rebounds for the 24-2 sectional champs. Scored 1,417 career points, set school record of 800 career rebounds. 3-time All-Conference, 2-time SAC Tourney MVP, and 1997 Fort Wayne Player of the Year as part of teams that were 67-11 over 3 seasons, winning 3 SAC titles and 3 sectionals. He played at Purdue, Vincennes University, and UNC Charlotte, including 2 NCAA tournament appearances and Vincennes' 5th place NJCAA National Tournament team. He played professionally in Ecuador and the CBA, resides in Fort Wayne. Cameron Stevens of Fort Wayne South. Ben Tonagel, LaPorte, AP Honorable Mention All-State, IBCA Honorable Mention All-State after averaging 15.2 and 8.8 boards for the 22-5 state finalist Slicers. Career total, 989 points over 3 seasons, all sectional, all regional, all semi-state, all state honors as a senior. 1997 LaPorte Herald Argus Player of the Year, South Bend Tribune All-Area, a 2-year all-conference selection, led the Duneland Conference in rebounding as a senior, scored 5 points in the final minute of the Final Four game versus Delta, twice giving LaPorte the lead in the closing seconds. He scored 1,295 points at Grace College. He is 8th in career free throw percentage there, 825. Earned a doctorate and superintendent's license, spent the past 7 years as principal of LaPorte High School, is currently assistant superintendent of LaPorte Community Schools. Ben Tonagel of LaPorte. Josh Whitman, Harrison, West Lafayette. AP High Honorable Mention All-State, IBCA Honorable Mention All-State, and Academic All-State after averaging 16.6 points and 7.6 rebounds for a 20 and 5 conference, sectional, and regional championship. Graduated 3rd in school history and career scoring and career rebounding as the 2-time area player of the year, 2-time all-area team, 2-time all-conference, and 2-time team MVP after averaging 20.6 and 8.3 rebounds as a junior. An all-state football player, he was a 4-year starter at tight end at the University of Illinois, an academic All-American. He spent 4 seasons in the NFL with San Diego, Miami, Seattle, and Buffalo. After earning a law degree, he has been athletic director at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse, Washington University, Missouri, and since 2016 is the athletic director at the University of Illinois. Josh Whitman of Harrison, West Lafayette. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2022 Silver Anniversary team.
Sir. Yep. Was thinking the same thing. Yep, that's you right there. Yep, you got it. As always, Sam does a tremendous job with that. And we have now gotten to an age where I'm kind of the same age, a couple years older than all the guys that are sitting here in front of me. So to guys whose games I called when they were in college, like Chris and Andy, and a guy who came to UIndy after I graduated, but Cedric, I'm not going to forget about your days on the south side down the street. Great to see 3 University of Indianapolis Greyhounds up here on the stage. My buddy Don Carlisle, my first year as the play-by-play guy for IUPUI 20 years ago was Don's senior season at IUPUI. And of all the accolades that Sam rattled off about Don, he was the all-time leading rebounder at IUPUI for 20 years, a mark that was just passed a year ago. For as much as I pester Matt Wren for advertising, anytime we have a game involving a Terre Haute area school on the ISC Sports Network, I have to give him a special shout-out. If you have real estate needs in the Wabash Valley, Matt is your guy. And don't worry, Matt, I'm going to continue to email you every opportunity I have looking for sponsorship dollars. And while the Tonigal brother that I am more familiar with is Greg, who I'm pretty sure played for about 37 years at Valparaiso and has done a wonderful job at Indiana Wesleyan. Again, Ben, it's great to have you here tonight and be honored. And I'm happy for Mr. Whitman that in this season of coaching changes in college hoops, his guys not going anywhere. So Josh gets to be here and enjoy the festivities tonight. But to all of you gentlemen, congratulations on a wonderful career, and it's great that we can recognize you here this evening. And one more person I want to point out, because I walked up and said this to him earlier. I know for Chad Hunter that his basketball odyssey did not go the way he had planned after his days at New Albany. And Chad, I know you've been battling some health issues over the years as well. But as somebody that was in your sectional while you were in high school, I remember how fantastic of a player you were at New Albany. Keep doing the Lord's work in real life and keep fighting the good fight from a health standpoint, Chad. It's great we can recognize you here tonight as well. With that, it is time to recognize our inductees into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. And with that, we start with the 6 honorees tonight that are unfortunately no longer with us. We take these in alphabetical order. We start with Jerry Bass from Morristown High School. Jerry was the state's leading scorer in 1958, was an Indiana All-Star, played at Indiana University, scored over 1,600 career points at Morristown. That was the scoring record at the time. He was the state's leading scorer at over 30 points per game, and he was a member of the Indiana All-Stars. He played at IU under Branch McCracken, totaled over 600 points in 68 career games. He averaged just shy of 12 points per game as a senior in 1962. Sadly, Jerry left us in 2009. Representing the family and accepting the induction plaque on behalf of Jerry is Kevin Bass. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Bass. Our next honoree is the late Garth Cohn. Garth was the head coach at Alexandria and led the Tigers program from 1977 until his untimely passing, ironically on this day, 12 years ago in 2010. Garth's team won 419 games, over 60%, won the Central Indiana Conference Championship 16 times, won 5 sectionals, 3 regionals, and a semi-state, and was the inaugural 2A state champion in 1998. If you don't know your Alexandria geography, 3 of his team's sectional titles came in the one-class days at the Wigwam at Anderson High School, and each time that Alexandria won a sectional, they knocked out the host Indians at some point in time along the way. Garth graduated from Pearson High School in 1965, was a 1969 graduate of Taylor University, where he played under Hall of Fame coach Don Odell. Representing the family and accepting the induction plaque on behalf of the late Garth Cohn is his widow, Cinda Cohn, and family. Ladies and gentlemen, Garth Cohn. I was fortunate enough in my career, and hopefully if it gets reopened again, I'll go back and do more. I have called one game at the Wigwam, and Garth Cohn was on the sidelines that night, Anderson versus Alexandria in 1997. The late Tony Etcherson was a 4-year varsity starter at Noblesville High School. He scored over 1,300 career points. He led the Millers to 3 consecutive sectional championships in 89, 90, and 91. Tony was named All-Hamilton County 4 years running, and he was the 1990 and 91 County Player of the Year. His senior year, he averaged 23 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists per game. He attended Mercer University, was a 2-year starter, all academic honors 4 years in a row, and led the then Trans-American Conference in three-point shooting. Tony left us way too soon because of a farming accident that took place 3 years ago at the age of 47. Representing the family and accepting the induction plaque on his behalf, his widow, Toby Etcherson. Ladies and gentlemen, Tony Etcherson. Family shooting genes were passed on to Gus, who's playing college basketball as we speak. Our next honoree is the late William Bill Smith, Sr. We made the rocket, folks, like literally sit in Broad Ripple back there tonight. I'm in your neighborhood too. I know exactly where you're at. 24 seasons as the head coach for Mr. Smith at Broad Ripple High School, including the 1980 state championship. We might be here a while. Bill was the 2-time Marion County Coach of the Year. Because he was the state championship coach, he was a fitting honoree in terms of being the 1980 Indiana All-Star Coach. His teams won 250 games, 3 sectionals, 2 regionals, and 1 semi-state. He coached 5 Indiana All-Stars. A couple of them you may have heard of. Mike Woodson and George Hill. And Bill was the first African-American coach to lead an integrated school to an Indiana high school basketball state championship. What was the level of respect for Coach Smith? Well, when he was done coaching at Broad Ripple, he became a consultant to John Calipari at the University of Memphis and the University of Kentucky. and he assisted Mike Woodson with both the New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks until his passing in 2014. Representing the Smith family and so many people that cared about him so much are in attendance tonight, and receiving the induction plaque on behalf of his late high school coach, ladies and gentlemen, the current head coach of the Indiana Hoosiers, Mike Woodson. We now recognize the late James D. Strickland. James was a standout in the early years of the 20th century. At Owensville High School in Gibson County, he was key to their first sectional championship team in 1925. And you got to love this nickname. The Kickapoos lost to eventual state runner-up Vincennes Lincoln. As a senior, again, he led Owensville to the sectional championship and was beaten by an eventual state runner-up squad, Evansville Central. James played at Indiana University. He enrolled with classmate Branch McCracken, and that duo led the Hoosiers in scoring as sophomores in the 1928 season. They went 15-2 and tied for the Big Ten title, which was the second at the time in school history. James was the leading scorer as a junior, second team All-Big Ten. He was named to the 1929 All-Indiana College team and was third team All-American. James was the captain and leading scorer of the New York Athletic Club of the AAU League for 5 seasons and briefly played with the Indianapolis Kotskis, where his teammate was John Wooden. A little bit of a history lesson here, folks. The NBA started in 1946, so this predates the NBA days. Mr. Strickland passed in 1997. Representing the family and accepting the induction plaque on behalf is his son, Dr. James W. Strickland. And there has already been a significant tie to Indiana State University in this program, and that continues with our next honoree, the late Clarence Jordan Walker. Clarence was the first African-American player to participate in a national collegiate basketball tournament game. Graduated from East Chicago, Washington, played for Hall of Fame coach John Barato, 1946 grad, who was a member of their 24-3 regional championship team that season. Clarence Jordan Walker was recruited by John Wooden to what was then Indiana State Teachers College. He was a member of their 1947 team that was invited to the NAIB National Tournament. But on the basis that a black player would not be eligible to compete in that tournament, Indiana State declined the invitation. A year later, the rules had been altered, and with Walker permitted to play, Indiana State finished as the national runners-up in that tournament. As a senior, Walker was a starting guard on the Sycamore team that won that tournament. They made the national semifinals of that tournament in 1949. After receiving numerous awards for his basketball playing days, Mr. Walker also won a Purple Heart for his service in the Korean War. He was a teacher. Absolutely, please. Mr. Walker was a teacher, counselor, and administrator in Gary's schools for 35 years, becoming an assistant superintendent. He passed away in 1989 at the age of 60. Representing the family and accepting the induction plaque on behalf of the late Clarence Jordan Walker is his son, Kevin Jordan Walker. This time, Mr. Boltz, you don't get to give out the award. You get to receive the award. Because the recipient of this year's Indiana Pacers Silver Medal Award, which includes induction to the Hall of Fame, is Mark Boltz. Mark officiated Indiana high school basketball for 43 years, was a sports official for 50 years. His time working IHSA games spanned from 1971 through 2013. He worked 38 sectionals, 26 regionals, 6 semi-states, and 3 boys basketball state finals. He also spent 15 and 13 years, respectively, officiating men's and women's college basketball. Again, as you might well know, he is the current president of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Now, this last paragraph doesn't get you induction into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, but I think it's worth noting for my friend Mr. Boltz. He is also noted for his football officiating career, where he was a head linesman in the National Football League for 25 years. He is a 1966 graduate of Lancaster, Ohio High School and a 1970 graduate of Ohio University. He and his wife, Nikki, reside in Zionsville. Ladies and gentlemen, our Pacers Silver Medal Award winner, Mark Boltz.
Thank you, Greg, for that wonderful introduction. You know, it's nice when people say nice things about you. But when you officiate, people don't always say nice things about you. They call me names, and they're not nice names. Some of them refer to my intelligence, or lack of it. Some of them refer to my ancestry, or lack of it. But anyway, it's been a fabulous evening, and I'd like to thank our MC this evening, Greg Rakestraw, for that great introduction. Let's give him a hand. I promised Greg that I would say that if he read the introduction pretty much like I wrote it. So as a referee, we're starting even all the way around, level playing field, okay? You know, in officiating, that's all we really try to do. Make sure that that playing field, that court is level, so it's fair for all who participate. No one gains an unnecessary advantage by violating the rules. Let me assure you, it is indeed a tough job. This, however, this evening is quite an honor. One I never dreamed of or saw coming, because the hallowed halls of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame are for the players and coaches who have distinguished themselves with their exemplary careers on the Indiana hardwoods. For me, by way of this Indiana Pacer Silver Medal Award, to be recognized here this evening alongside these great players and coaches, I am truly humbled to be inducted with all of these people this evening. This really has been a whirlwind of a year for me, as Greg pointed out, since last summer when I became president of this great facility, then to be notified this fall that the Silver Medal Award Committee of the Indiana Hall of Fame had selected me for this honor. It simply adds icing to the cake. A special thanks to Mr. John Milholland for the nomination and to the committee for my selection. As always, at events like this, there are many people that need to be thanked. And first and foremost, for me, is my family. Being the spouse of a sports official, much as being a coach's wife, isn't easy. My wife of 53 years, Nikki, my 2 sons, Brett and Brandon, over there, are here this evening with their spouses, Laura and Peggy. Happy birthday, Peggy. Don't kill me. And 3 of my 5 grandchildren are here this evening, Christian, Reagan, and Jackson. I thank each and every one of you for your part in supporting me through all these years. I always got a kick out of Nikki, who had to spend, I think, 8 Thanksgivings during our lifetime without me, as I was either in Detroit or Dallas for a Thanksgiving NFL football game. But it has been rumored that she said, "It's bad enough being alone on Thanksgiving Day eating turkey, but then I have to turn on TV and watch a turkey." Also seated at the table over there with my wife is a very dear friend of all of us, Elaine Dimitrov, widow of one of my mentors and longtime Hall of Fame advocate and former silver medal winner, the late Jimmy Dimitrov. Yes, let's hear it for him. All of us who knew Jimmy knows he's looking down on us this evening with a smile. And what else, Elaine? Me too. This award has even more meaning for me, as I do not hail from Indiana. But having spent nearly all of my adult life here, our family is proud to call Indiana home. Nikki and I are both from Ohio, but brought our young family here with my employment back in 1971. And this is where the majority of my life as a football and basketball official, as Greg alluded to, really got its start, and where it finally ended after 50 great years in 2016, a career that took me all over the world. Many of those years involved my officiating the games of some of these very inductees that we honor here this evening, as well as our honor teams in front of me as well. Again, I am humbled to be included in this induction class. I share this honor also with my comrades in stripes. Many of them who paraded up and down the court with me all those years are here tonight. I enjoyed stepping onto the court with each and every one of you, and I sincerely thank you for having my back. And finally, in closing, I would be remiss if I did not issue a plea to all of you who love not just this great game of basketball here in Indiana and around the country, but other sports as well that teach life lessons to today's youth. And the plea is for those of you who are in a position to do so this evening, please join me in helping the Indiana High School Athletic Association and their education-based athletics programs, the National Federation, as well as many of our local youth organizations around the state, and encourage our young people, in particularly those no longer who may be playing and you want to stay involved in athletics. They can do so by becoming an official. The shortage of quality officials in our sports today continues to grow. Again, I ask those of you who are in a position to help, please do your part by encouraging sportsmanship at all levels and help young former student athletes and many of our other wayward youth looking for a worthwhile avocation to give officiating a try. Believe me, I am living proof of how much fun and how rewarding life as a sports official can be. Once again, thank you so much for this unforgettable honor. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the remainder of the evening as we honor these great inductees into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame class of 2022 and all the others recognized here this evening for their achievements. Thank you and God bless.
Come to the front, sir. Everybody else gets a picture with Mark. Poor Mark is stuck with me. I will echo a couple of sentiments that he said about officiating. I believe the average age of an official in our state is about 55 years old at this point. I know a lot of high schools are starting to begin licensing programs as a way for young students to be able to make money in terms of officiating games. Colleges, I think, are doing the same thing. And so we need officials. We have almost gotten to that critical point in terms of having to move football games in certain part of the states off Friday night so we don't have officials. We haven't hit that point in basketball yet. I know we had a day last year in the baseball season where on a random Thursday in April, because there had been snow the 2 days before, basically every high school in the state wanted to play a baseball game on Thursday, and they couldn't. We didn't have enough umpires to go around. And so if you've got a young person looking to make a little extra cash and work off a few pounds in the process, we need some help. And the other point that Mark touched on in terms of sportsmanship, the IHSAA has done a wonderful job in terms of promoting sportsmanship. And I see it in the student athletes. The players, for the most part, get it. Those in the stands, at times, not so much. That can also be your charge in this room, too. If officiating is not for you, be kinder to the officials. Trust me, it'll make our sport a better place here in the state of Indiana. All right, I'll get off my soapbox now, and let's recognize some incoming Hall of Famers in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Again, we take these in alphabetical order. We start with Wayne Boltinghouse. Wayne scored over 1,100 points at Rockport High School. He averaged 18 points per game as a senior for their 18-5 team. Wayne played 5 sports at Evansville College, now the University of Evansville. He was a senior captain of the Aces, 26-3, 1964 NCAA College Division National Championship team. He was so highly thought of as a basketball player, he was a part of the 1964 Olympic trials. He returned to his alma mater from 1969 to 74. He was an assistant coach on another College Division champ for Evansville in 1971. From 1974 through 1981, he served as the AD and head men's basketball coach at what was then known as Indiana State University, Evansville. You probably better know it now as the University of Southern Indiana. Wayne also played a role in the formation of the Great Lakes Valley Conference. Then for 10 years, he went to their most hated rival, that being Kentucky Wesleyan College. All he managed to do there was win 74% of his games as the head coach at KWC and was the Division II Coach of the Year in 1992. Wayne also served as Director of Athletics at Kentucky Wesleyan as well. He completed his coaching career by returning home and going just across the Ohio River to the then consolidated South Spencer High School, where he was the head girls coach from 1996 through 2002. He resides in Owensboro, Kentucky. I'll go meet him for Moonlight Barbecue at some point. Ladies and gentlemen, Wayne Boltinghouse. I'll hand them to you every time.
Thank you. You add a little luster to my evening. Greetings. My name is Wayne Boltinghouse, and I'm a proud native of Rockport, Indiana, in Spencer County. I want to express my gratitude to Ray Pavey for placing my name as a nominee for this honor, and to the selection committee. I am humbled for this honor to be part of the basketball greats of the Hoosier State, and I salute the class of 2022. But for me, this is my greatest basketball honor. How did I get here? I was a farm boy who was blessed to have 2 Christian parents who had very little but gave me tons of love and support. An older brother, Bill, who was an all-around athlete, who mentored me and instilled the love of sports and competitiveness. And a sister, Jane, who's been my lifelong cheerleader. In 1953, as a student at South Central Elementary, with its outdoor toilets and cinder playground, I began my basketball future in a team sport. Little did I realize I was at the right place at the right time. There were 765 high schools playing IHSAA basketball, and many were small-town teams with dreams of winning. In 1954, the Milan Miracle happened, and everybody wanted to be Bobby Plump, me included. Hoosier hysteria exploded to a new level. From elementary school, I became a proud Rockport Zebra, where I got to wear the blue and the gold and further my basketball skills. coaches and teachers and teammates and classmates, they were instrumental in my development. It was like the entire Rockport community had adopted me and was cheering me to be even better. It worked, as I was given many honors that resulted in me becoming a University of Evansville Purple Ace. This was another right time at the right place moment, as I was a team member on some great teams that drew legions of fans. Lifelong friends and memories were a result. And following college, a childhood aspiration of playing professional baseball happened, as I was a member of the St. Louis Cardinals that was interrupted by 2 years of service in the United States Army. My coaching career, thank you. My coaching career started in the late 60s, which includes my expanding support group, a wife of soon-to-be 52 years, 3 beautiful, successful daughters, and 8 grandchildren. And success seemed to be my everyday companion as I reflect and express gratitude to the University of Evansville, the University of Southern Indiana, Kentucky Wesleyan College, and South Spencer High School for allowing me to coach some remarkable players. This has been a prestigious honor, and it would not have happened without my classmates and teammates and friends. It would not have happened. And I'm overwhelmed this evening by how many classmates and teammates and former players are here tonight to support my induction. In the past few decades, I am often asked, "Are you having a good day?" My response was and is, I have a good day every day. Some are just a wee bit better than others. Today has been a wee bit better than others. Thank you for listening, and God bless.
Wayne's last 2 years at Kentucky Wesleyan overlapped with my first 2 years at the University of Indianapolis. My first 2 years, Greyhounds didn't win any games at Owensboro. The year after they moved on, the Greyhounds won the next year. If you want to take full credit for that, Coach, you go right ahead. Congratulations, Wayne, an honor well deserved. Next up, Napoleon Branford. Napoleon was the starting center on the 1970 East Chicago Roosevelt State Championship team. That team was 28-0. It was the 3rd consecutive undefeated regular season for the Rough Riders. Absolutely. If you include their postseason record, those 3 years, it was 71-2 was their record. Napoleon attended the University of Nevada. He was freshman All-America, averaged 15 points and 11 rebounds a game as a sophomore before an Achilles injury slowed his college basketball days. Napoleon would complete his degree at Purdue Calumet before forging a career in finance. Napoleon is the co-founder of Seibert, Branford, and Schenck Incorporated, and he was the chairman of the largest minority-owned investment firm on Wall Street. These days, Napoleon calls Berkeley, California home. Soon he will call the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame home as well. Napoleon Branford.
Before I start my formal remarks, I want everyone to know that I'm dripping in wearing my gold, undefeated state championship ring, cufflinks, and tie pin. I would like to thank the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this prestigious honor. I would like to thank and share this honor with my lovely wife of 46 years, Sharon, and my 1970 undefeated championship teammates. Those who are present tonight are our floor general and my cousin, Kavanaugh Gary, John Davis, who preserved our morning semifinal game with a last-second block shot against Lafayette Jeff, Holland Llewellyn, who ignited our semifinal championship game comeback against the Michigan City Red Devils with a shot from the logo at Mackey Arena. I asked him 30 years later, why did he take that shot? He said, because the coach wouldn't put me in the game. And also we have today Mike Artis, who made the most amazing behind-the-back pass to John Davis in our 23-point blowout of the number 3 ranked East Chicago Washington team. Little would we know that was Mike's only assist in his 3-year varsity career. They are here tonight celebrating this momentous occasion, even though he's no longer with us. I must pay tribute to the star and the leader of our team, James Bradley. In my opinion, the most complete player in high school basketball history. We are only the 4th team in the history of the state to go undefeated, and we played only one of our 28-game season in our home gym. If you can imagine that. I captured this amazing story in my book, Hoosiers 2, TOO, The Road Warriors. I can't begin to thank the coaches and teammates, plus the thousands of people who are responsible for me being honored here today. But I need to give special recognition to 4 people. First, I want to thank my Aunt Mildred Harris, the grandmother of Gary Harris Jr., who will be standing at this podium one day, who tutored me in algebra to keep me eligible to play. Second, I want to thank my cousin Houston Thomas, who taught me how to play basketball. Next, I'm eternally grateful to Coach Jack Spencer, who's no longer with us, who recruited me to the University of Nevada, Reno. Last but not least, I want to thank Dr. Alex Boyd, who was my mentor at Nevada, who let me raid his refrigerator when I was hungry. But more importantly, he instilled in me the value of a college degree. Dr. Boyd went on to become the superintendent for the West Harvey Dixmoor School District and one of my favorite clients. It's a real privilege to be inducted at the same time as my high school counselor, Mr. Clarence Walker. His advice was a roadmap for my success. Having circled the earth on numerous occasions on the ship, the Royal Residence at Sea, the United States is the greatest country in the world. It is the only place where I could have attained all the success I've experienced. As great as it is, it missed an opportunity to be even greater by denying people who look like me, who were before me, the same opportunity afforded me. The best example is Mr. Clarence Walker, who started at East Chicago, Washington, and played for the late county's greatest coach, Johnny Barato. In addition, he starred at Indiana State College and played for the greatest coach of all time, John Wooden. And yet, he was not given the opportunity to be the head basketball coach at East Chicago Roosevelt. This has been a remarkable day. I wish I could have shared it with my mother, Cora Branford, my brother, Darrell, who was our teammate, and my youngest brother, Emery, whose birthday is today, who is no longer with us. I would like this honor to be dedicated to their memory. None of this could have been achieved without the blessings of my Lord and Savior, Jesus the Christ. In closing, please remember, don't let anybody or anything deter you from your dream. Thank you.
It is wonderful to have Napoleon here for many reasons, but especially representing what clearly was a golden era of East Chicago basketball and region basketball as well. I think Johnny Cash was singing about our next guest when he said, "I've been everywhere, man." That would be Al Brown, 1959 graduate of Connersville, 3-year letter winner at Purdue, was part of Purdue's staff in 1969 when they reached the national championship game. The highlight of his high school coaching career was at Centerville, Lafayette Central Catholic, and DeKalb, would have been leading Central Catholic, right, Dave Worland, who's recording this on his phone as we speak, to the 1973 sectional championship, which ended Lafayette Jeff's state record of 29 consecutive sectional championships. Al will become the head coach at Ball State University. He was the head coach of the Cardinals' 1986 MAC championship team that qualified for the NCAA tournament. He was a men's assistant at Ball State, Western Michigan, Minnesota, and Tennessee. And in 1995, he was hired as an assistant by Pat Summitt for the famous Lady Vols, and he was on the bench for 3 women's NCAA championship teams, which makes Al very unique. He is the only coach in college basketball history to coach both in the NCAA Division I men's and women's championship games. He calls Knoxville, Tennessee home. Ladies and gentlemen, Al Brown.
Thank you, guys. I'll pay you later. I would like to thank the Basketball Hall of Fame selection committee for this honor. And I want to congratulate all the members of all the inductees who are being honored here tonight for all their achievements. It's a special honor for me to be on the same stage with all this greatness, and I'm very much humbled by that. I've often said that Naismith may have invented the game of basketball, but it was perfected here in Indiana. Indiana has made basketball special. Basketball's been my life ever since I was in the, 4th grade. I haven't been able to get away from it since then. And it is a special pleasure and privilege for me to be honored in the Basketball Hall of Fame. This honor, though, is not about me. It's about all those who were a part of my life, beginning with my parents, who sacrificed so much to make my journey and a trip through basketball history a reality. I wish they were here to celebrate this evening with me. I'm sorry they aren't. To my wonderful wife, Karen, who is sitting down here in the audience, and I am not going to discuss how many years we've been married at her request, but it just seems like only yesterday. My wonderful son, Edwin, who has been so supportive, and his family, I appreciate them so much. They weren't able to be here with us tonight, but they are here in spirit. I want to thank the following. I want to thank Bob Bird, who played for me at Centerville High School, for starting my journey to the Hall of Fame. Bob worked tirelessly to make this happen. I want to thank Dave Worland, who played for me at Central Catholic, who also worked very hard. And to all of those who were a part of making my nomination finalized and making me a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. I want to thank my high school and college coaches who helped me become, or develop, I should say, as a player, and helped my game and helped me develop my love for the game of basketball. I want to thank all the coaches that I have worked with who made me a better coach, both the ones I've worked with and the ones I've competed against. If you learn about Indiana basketball, you learn that the best coaches in the world are right here in Indiana, and they always have been. And I've been blessed to be tutored by them one way or another. And to all my college and high school teammates who helped me become a good player and certainly a better person. A special thank you to all the players that have played for me at Greenfield, Centerville, Lafayette Central Catholic, DeKalb, Purdue, and Ball State. And I really appreciate the members of the 1972-73 Central Catholic team for being here tonight, and I'd like for those guys to stand because that's a record-setting group. Stand up, guys. If you can stand up. I appreciate Greg's introduction, and he mentioned the fact that those guys ended Lafayette Jeff's 29-year sectional run and also 99 straight games. Lafayette Jeff was certainly an opponent that we all respected one way or the other. I also want to give a shout out to Ray Mccallum here, who's being honored. I'm so pleased that he's being honored tonight. He made me look like a good college coach for a lot of years, and so I appreciate Ray so much. He was a take charge guy and a joy to not only know but a joy to coach in every way. Hoosiers truly love the game of basketball, and I was blessed to grow up in the state of Indiana where basketball was king at the time of the heyday of basketball. It was a wonderful experience to grow up and be a part of Indiana basketball. No matter where I've gone, people have asked me, what's it like in Indiana? What's basketball like in Indiana? And I tell them that nowhere else in the country is like Indiana basketball. I started coming to the Hall of Fame when I was at Purdue working with George King, and Bob King was a mentor of mine who also was a member of the Basketball Hall of Fame. And Bob used to bring me to this outing, and I would come and sit in awe of all the people that were being honored, thinking, what a great evening, what a great event. It would be so nice to be honored in that way, but never thinking that I would ever have an opportunity to be a part of the hall. And to have that happen, I wish Bob was here tonight to see that take place. I just hope someone sitting in the audience tonight, someone who loves Indiana basketball as much as I do, is able to be honored as I'm being honored here tonight. Don't give up your dream. It was mentioned before. Don't give up your hope if you are on that road and on that pathway, because it can happen. If it happened for me, it can happen for you. You know, the movie Hoosiers has shown the world what Indiana basketball is all about. And that movie has been an inspiration for so many people. It just tells the world this is what Indiana basketball is and what it has been and what it will always be. It'll always be the greatest state in the world for basketball, with the greatest coaches and the greatest fans, the greatest officials. Don't forget them. You're welcome. So, in parting, I just want to thank everyone who's responsible for this evening and everyone who has gone before us to make this a special outing. We're all honored to be here, and we're all privileged to sit in this great venue tonight celebrating Indiana basketball. Thank you so much.
See, even I have a reason to be appreciative of Coach Brown's 1973 sectional championship. And I think Dave Worland kind of knows about this story. I worked for one of the starters on that 73 Jeff team. He actually got to play, and Dave is nodding his head accordingly as we speak. He got to play in the 74 Final Four for Lafayette Jeff. Anytime he got to talk a little bit too much, got a little bit too much to deal with, all I had to do to bring him down was ask him about the 1973 sectional. So, Coach, thank you very much for that. Our next honoree is Gary Duncan. Gary graduated from Oakland City in 1963 and then graduated from Oakland City College in 1967. Spent 21 years on Hoosier sidelines at Salem and Southridge. 19 years at Southridge, 279 wins, and 1 Class State Finals appearances in 1985 and 1986. His 2 years at Salem included a 20-6 season with a sectional and regional championship in 1971, his first year as the Lions head coach. These days, Gary calls Huntingburg home. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Duncan.
Well, I also want to thank the selection committee, as well as congratulate these inductees. Being nominated into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame is an ultimate honor for me and for any Hoosier basketball coach. This is where you would like to be eventually. I'm thankful not to only be a part of this history, but to also receive the support and kind words of so many people. So the rest of this short speech should be about those coaches, players, and family members that put me where I'm at today. So I started my high school basketball coach with Bob Reinhardt, Oakland City Hall of Famer. My college coaches, Delbert Disler, Willis Simpson. These coaches were a great influence in my career. They also afforded me the process of the opportunity to succeed. One of my favorite quotes is, "You're only good as the people around you." I was very fortunate to have loyal and very knowledgeable assistant coaches. Athletic directors were also included in that. Ray Opal was my assistant at Salem. Wayne Ransom, Jack Maxey, Jeff Williams, Hall of Famer Don Boozy assisted me at Southridge. Athletic directors at Southridge, Jim Bardwell and Brett Bardwell, were always supportive in my coaching career. Sometimes it's not what you know, but who you know. I moved from West Washington to Salem with the principal at West Washington, and this move led to my first varsity coaching position, and I inherited a bunch of fine ball players, an outstanding group that led me to our first regional. From Salem, I moved to Southridge and was hired by Hall of Famers Ray Rachner and Joe Toadrank. I knew both of these gentlemen very well and learned a great deal from them both. This leads me now to my players. At our 50-year reunion at Salem, I told this group they were the foundation of my coaching career. At Southridge, each sectional championship from 1979 to 83 led the foundation to our 2 Final Four appearances in the single class system in 1985 and 1986. I also want to acknowledge the 1987 team and the 2007 team for their accomplishments, which helped me put me where I'm at today. I'd like to do a cartwheel for you tonight, but I'd probably break my arms. I want to thank my wife, Donna, my daughters, Angie and Lisa, son, Scott, for their support through my journey. To my family, friends, players, coaches that have honored me with their presence tonight, I thank you for sharing this evening with me, and I would like you all to stand one more time. Come on, get up. Thank you. And we'll have a good time when this evening's over. My last thought is I would like to pay tribute to an outstanding community leader, a father of one of my ball players, president of the school board when I was hard at Southridge, a 2013 Hall of Fame inductee, a member of the Hall of Fame Board of Directors in 2017 to 2018, Alan Nuss. May he rest in peace. God bless you all. Thank you.
Gary, congratulations. I think back to 1985. That was the year that Hozier Hysteria got a national audience being featured in Sports Illustrated. And one of the teams that was chronicled in that great article was the story of Lions and Marco was L&M. And was that going to be the small town team that made it to then Market Square Arena? The answer was no. It was the South Ridge Raiders. Coach, congratulations on that. With that, our next honoree is Jerry Flake. Jerry scored over 1,100 points at Washington High School, averaged over 21.5 points a game his senior year in 1965. Went on to play at Southwestern Louisiana, where he totaled over 2,000 career points, was NAIA All-American in 1967, Small College All-American in 68 and 69, shot over 50% from the floor and 85% from the free throw line for his career. He's been involved as a teacher and coach in Louisiana and Illinois, not to mention North Davies and Hagerstown, and he is already a part of the Louisiana Basketball Hall of Fame and the Ragin' Cajun Athletic Hall of Fame at Southwestern Louisiana. These days, Jerry calls Florida home. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry Flake.
Congratulations to my fellow inductees and my sincere thanks to the Hall of Fame committee. To be a member of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, the same Hall of Fame that so many legendary basketball figures are members, is truly the most humbling honor of my lifetime. From the first time I picked up a basketball and awkwardly threw it towards my neighbor's goal until this moment, I have loved the game, and I am so deeply humbled to accept this honor. That neighbor I talked about is here tonight. The first goal I ever shot was at his goal. And Denny Donnersberger from Wheatland, Indiana is here tonight, and I thank him. There are many more people that I would like to thank than I have time for tonight, of course. First, I would like to thank my family members. Got a whole table of them over there, right there. Right there. All right. I'd also like to thank those that, of course, that could not be here tonight. My mother, Bonnie, a single mom after my dad died when I was in the 3rd grade, is a true saint in heaven. My brother Charles, now deceased, was instrumental in guiding me in my younger years. My sister Linda, who is here tonight, has always been very supportive and there when I needed her. My younger brother Bob, who shared many great moments with me over these many years, could not be here tonight. 2 nieces, Faith and Leslie, are here to support me. My wife and I were blessed to have 3 children, Angela, Michael, and Christina, and 9 grandchildren, Lucas, Ella, Bryce, Madison, Chase, Andrew, Ryder, Riley, and Brooke, all 9 of them. Sandra, my wife of over 51 years, whom I met in college in Louisiana, passed away almost 2 years ago. My greatest regret is that she could not be here tonight to share this honor with me. But I know, however, that she is smiling down on me as she is here with me in spirit. The 3 coaches who influenced my life in such a positive way were Robert Small at Wheatland High School, Glenn Craney at Washington High School, and Burl Shipley at the University of Southwestern Louisiana in Lafayette, Louisiana. Without them, and without the support of my family, my teammates, fans, and friends, none of this would have been possible. I am a prime example of the impossible dream. A skinny kid from small southern Indiana town of Wheatland, population around 600, winds up here tonight. I was once asked, what was the secret to my success in basketball? I replied that besides a lot of hard work, I just turned sideways and my opponents lost sight of me. It is interesting to note that I was an English teacher in Hagerstown, Indiana, for 27 years, all in the same classroom. I told them when I was hired I didn't like change. It has been a great day and evening. I would like to dedicate this honor to my family, especially to my precious wife, Sandra, whom I miss very much. And I want to thank you all from the depth of my soul. Thank you.
That turning sideways bit doesn't work for all of us, by the way. Next up, Ray Mccallum. To say Ray has earned this achievement as both a player and a coach would be an understatement. A member of Muncie Central's 1978 state championship squad and starter for their 1979 state title squad, he hit 17 of 20 field goals in the 1979 state finals to earn MVP honors for the tournament. His career at Ball State resulted in school and MAC career scoring records. Ray scored over 2,100 points as a Ball State Cardinal. He was the 1983 MAC Player of the Year. He won the Francis Pomeroy Naismith Award, recognizing the best college player in the nation at under 6 feet tall, and his number 10 jersey has been hanging in the rafters of Worthen Arena for quite some time. He was the head coach of the Cardinals from 1993 to 2000, led the Cardinals to 126 wins during that time, a MAC regular season title, 2 MAC tournament championships, which of course translates into 2 NCAA tournament appearances. Ray was also the head coach at University of Houston, University of Detroit Mercy, has won over 300 career games, the Division I head coach. He also made the NIT 3 times in those 19 seasons. These days, he helps a great friend of mine. He's an assistant coach at Tulane University, where he serves on the staff of Ron Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, Ray Mccallum.
Thank you. 3 minutes? 3 minutes, okay. I tell you, it's great to see everyone, great to be here. When I heard the announcement of the 25th anniversary team, it brought back a lot of memories. I think I've called about every one of these guys up here trying to give them a scholarship. I was able to get one, Cedric Moody, who was an outstanding player for me, but what I'm thinking now, I'm in the recruiting mode, so we may have some sons that might be ready to play for me pretty soon. Always recruiting. First of all, I want to thank the Hall of Fame committee for this special honor. What a dream come true. Something that I never even dreamed about. I want to thank one of my former teammates who really brought this to light, Jeff Furlan, who's here, and submitted my name to the committee, and really appreciate of Jeff as a great teammate and a great friend to put me in front of this committee, and so I'm really thankful. Want to recognize the outstanding class that I'm going in the Indiana Hall of Fame with. Congratulations to you guys. I tell you what, I don't want to name all the places that I've coached. I mean, it would take all night. But Indiana basketball is the best and the finest anywhere. I'll tell you that. Growing up in Indiana, I had a great love for basketball. and believed that the Indiana players and coaches were the best in the country. And I can back that up in 38 years in coaching, what I've experienced. I can remember as a young kid in Muncie going up to the historic Walnut Street Fieldhouse, and my note said, try to find an open door. I think I was sneaking in, if you know what I mean, to watch the Bearcats play, to watch some great players. I can remember watching Hozier Hysteria on Channel 4. How many remember when the high school tournament was on Channel 4? Huh? Tom Carnegie and the crew. That's what I grew up with, watching, wanting to be one of those players, wanting to have an opportunity to go to the state. And you're looking at a guy that got to experience it. The one-class system. No knock to one of my former players out here, Mickey Hozier, who won the first class with Coach Cohn. We won it back-to-back in 78 and 79. Everybody in one pot. That's so special. We stick our chest out about that. And then having the opportunity to go to my hometown university and be a part of the first NCAA team was so special. And then to have the opportunity to come back home and lead my alma mater to 2 NCAA tournament appearance. That's Indiana basketball right there. It doesn't get any better than that. There are so many people that I want to thank, because without them, I would not be receiving this recognition. I first want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Man, this is a blessing. It really is a blessing to be here. And I'm back in Indiana, and you know where our roots are. So that gives me a lot of pride. I want to thank my dad, who we lost 5 years ago. He exposed me to Indiana basketball and some legends that I know some of us old timers remember. Some of you old timers, Bill Dinwiddie, who was a great Bearcat legend, and Jim Davis. Those guys went on to the NBA from Muncie. As a young elementary kid, I was able to meet these guys and set my goals and dreams high, because those are the kind of people that my dad introduced me to. I was able in Muncie, which I think is the capital of high school basketball. I just left the Hall of Fame, and we were all over the building, so that backed me up. We appreciate that. But I was able to meet Kenneth Bud Brown, who was one of the first Mr. Basketballs at Muncie Burris. Tom Herald, Mr. Basketball from Muncie Central. Ron Bonham, a legend, Indiana basketball. Rick Jones, Mr. Basketball. Tremendous players from my hometown, Muncie, Indiana. The pride of Delaware County produced some outstanding players, and I know Matt Painter is going in tonight as well, and he's got some work to take care of, so we excuse him. But Alan Level was a tremendous player that I was able to grow up and play with, played 10 years in the NBA. Sam Drummer, who was Indiana All-Star and one of the best. Coach Dickerson coached the great Sam Drummer. One of my teammates was one of the best small guards and the Naismith Award winner, Jackie Moore, a tremendous player that was a teammate of mine. Chandler Thompson, who's Muncie Central's coach, was a tremendous high school player and a state champion and a great player at Ball State. And maybe the best to come out of Muncie and Delaware County was Bonzi Wells, that I was able to coach, and Indiana All-Star and a 10-year NBA player. A lot of greats in Muncie. I want to thank my elementary coaches, Larry Lewis and Mike Havlin, who taught me the fundamentals of the game. A junior high coach, Coach John Ray, a guidance counselor, Coach Tony Catanzarite, who brought me in and said, hey, this is what you need to do to go to college. This is the areas you need to focus on. Was there with me all through the way. These people started my foundation. And these players in front of me and on the side, we always can remember the playground. I played in McCullough Park and the boys club in Heacon Park and all the players, the competition, Muncie YMCA, Carver Drive Park, Bewley Center. I mean, all those, along with the coaches, helped me develop my game. Going on to high school, man, again, I got to mention, it was a one-class system. I remember when I went away and they were saying they were going to the class system. I said, what's the deal? What's going on? That's not Indiana basketball. But really have a lot of pride about being a part of 2 back-to-back state championships in 78 and 79. Had outstanding teammates and who were very successful in life. Had outstanding coaches, Coach Tim Thompson, Coach Rick Peckinpah, Brian Smith, Coach Jerry Edwards, and of course, a Hall of Famer, Coach Bill Herald. Taught us the skills and fundamentals, toughness and IQ, and how to think the game, how to win championships. I want to make sure I mention those guys. My time at Ball State was a special time. Who gets to stay at home and play in their hometown university and be a part of the state, the first NCAA tournament team? It doesn't get any better than that. I want to thank the coaches that took a chance on me at Ball State because a lot of people said that, and I know we got some young kids out here that's going to be up here one day. They said that I wasn't big enough, I wasn't quick enough, I wasn't this, I wasn't that. And they took a chance on me, the Ball State coaching staff, Brad McNulty, Coach Rick Bowen, Coach Bill Hahn, our head coach Steve Yoder, who was an inductee last year from Plymouth as a Indiana Hall of Famer, and my head coach my senior year, Coach Al Brown. I want to thank those guys. I also want to thank the coaches. This is my 38th year in college coaching. I want to thank my support staff that work with me. I want to thank my assistant coaches. I want to give a special shout out to my players that allow me to coach them and be a part of their life as a mentor. And as I said, I've got a couple players here. Lonnie Jones was here earlier that played for me at Ball State. Cedric Moody here in the first seat, and Mickey Hozier, who played for me at Ball State. I want to thank those guys personally and all the players that I've worked with. Tonight has been a very special night for me, something I could not have dreamed of and will not forget. Finally, want to thank my family. I want to thank my mom. When you're 5'9" and 135 pounds dripping wet, I mean, you know, maybe I was small. But she said, don't pay any attention. You're going to just be fine. My mom, Yvonne, will you please stand up? Okay. I have my sister Lisa and her husband Ernest here at table 8, and my niece Yvette, and 2 other Bearcats. They were behind me. My brother Robert. And brother Darwin here with me. And I have 2 kids. I have a daughter, my oldest, Brittany Ray. Well, stand up and let everybody see how beautiful you are. Come on, Brittany. My daughter, Brittany Ray, and I have a son, Ray Michael. Her name is Brittany Ray, and my son's name is Ray Michael. So I mean, I don't know. That got to happen because my wife of 37 years, college sweetheart, Wendy Moore, is in the audience here tonight, and she's filming, and they're going to critique this tonight. I know that. I would like to mention my mother and father-in-law, Woody and Trula Moore, that's out in Seattle. But thank you for a great evening tonight, and it's a night I'll never forget.
Our next honoree, Gary Merrill. Gary's a 1964 graduate of Northwestern High School. He averaged 20 points a game as a senior for a 16-win team at Northwestern. Gary then had 1,000 career points in his college days at Findlay in Ohio. He was recognized off the court for scholarship, leadership, and citizenship, and was a 1996 inductee into their Athletics Hall of Fame. Gary was an Indiana high school coach for 36 years at places like Carroll, Madison, Seymour, DeKalb, Heritage, Blackhawk Christian, and Fort Wayne Smith Academy. Gary's teams had 482 victories, 10 sectional championships, 4 regional championships, and he coached Blackhawk Christian to a runner-up finish against an undefeated Waldron squad in the 2004 1A state championship game. These days, Gary remains employed in education and still calls Fort Wayne home. Ladies and gentlemen, Gary Merrill.
The first state finals I ever saw was on television in 1954. As a 7-year-old, I witnessed the miracle of Milan. But the next year, I saw an even greater event in person, the Kokomo Crash at the hands of my brother Dayton's team, the Northwestern Tigers. In the sectional final, in overtime, Leo Helmuth, just like Bobby Plump, sank a J at the buzzer to topple the third-ranked Cats. I saw my stoic, frugal father, who never wasted words or emotions or anything else of value, take his prized hat and throw it away. Somehow, deep in my 8-year-old subconscious, I knew this was the greatest game on earth. Every time we drive through a small Indiana town, my mind immediately goes back to the days of the 50s, when every community lived and died with the fortunes of the local high school team. Galveston, Young America, Walton, Burlington, Flora. I think about what basketball meant to all those places, and I still get chills. Playing and coaching basketball has been a wonderful life, and all the good things that happen I owe to my former players, the men I coached with, my wonderful family, and especially my wife. She was tricked into this whole basketball thing. She thought she was marrying a college professor or maybe a wealthy shrink, but God had a different plan. This winter, Smith Academy was playing at Union City, which is a small school that sits right on the Indiana-Ohio border. A young ref came up to me during the game and said, "I hear there's an Indiana Hall of Famer on this bench. Is it you?" And I gave it my best, shucks attitude and said, "Well, yes, they tell me I'm going to be inducted this spring." He shook my hand and congratulated me. Then he paused and stepped back, looked me up and down, and he said, "Why?" And he had me there. I really don't know if I belong in the Hall of Fame. I have my doubts. But one thing I'm pretty sure of, I have very little doubt that anyone has ever appreciated this honor more. Thank you.
Gary, I would say you have 482 reasons to be in the Hall of Fame, given the resume that we rattled off there. And for those that don't know, Fort Wayne Smith Academy is the smallest single public high school that competes in the IHSAA. Approximately 30-something students is what Gary has to choose from, all boys at Smith Academy. And again, wins and losses are great, but a lot of that is teaching life lessons for young men that are underprivileged. Gary, tip of the cap to you on a job well done in coaching, but especially on your last coaching stop at Smith Academy. Now let's recognize, absolutely. Let's recognize another very much deserving Hall of Famer, Doug Mitchell. Doug turned North Central into an Indiana high school power. Doug coached the Panthers for 25 years. His teams won 428 games. 71% was his winning percentage. Took home a pair of IHSAA state championships. Coached 9 Indiana All-Stars, 4 All-Americans. Mitchell's teams won 4 MIC championships, 4 Marion County championships. One of his former players just led North Central to their first Marion County title in 10 years, who is here tonight in Kevin Gant. Coach Mitchell won 11 sectionals, 4 regionals, 3 semi-states. Was the state runner-up in 2007. Those state titles came in 1999 and 2010. Doug coached 4 Indiana Mr. Basketballs in Jason Gardner, A.J. Ratliff, Eric Gordon, and Chris Wilkes. Now, if we talk about just Doug's coaching days, we are missing the story because he was a heck of a player in Hamilton Heights. Scored over 1,100 points for Hamilton Heights, was the 1975 Hamilton County Player of the Year, and led the Huskies to the sectional championship in 1975, the first for the school in 35 years. Doug would go on to play collegiately at Butler University. These days, he resides in Fishers, and he's now a member of the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame, Doug Mitchell.
No, I was looking for the referee stuff. Were you going to give me something to sign up? I thought I might become a referee. I didn't know if that was okay or not. Oh, we love those referees. And we did. Thanks to everybody. Chris, Kayla, Cheryl, Tripp, everybody at the Hall for your hard work to give us such an incredible venue. I don't know anywhere else in the country that could have any place else like that, and we appreciate it so much. Special thanks to the Alfred, Steve, and Sam for, along with Dave Nicholson, who were responsible for my nomination. Congratulations to all the other inductees and their families tonight. I look out and see so many familiar faces I've become friends with over the years. And congrats to the late Clarence Walker and late Bill Smith, who blazed the trail for young black players and coaches like myself. I cannot thank those guys enough for that. And the Etcherson family, thank you. What an honor to be here with the Etcherson family. Etcherson's guys, who would have thought a couple of farm boys from Arcadia, Indiana would end up in the Hall of Fame. So many great things have come to my life because of basketball in Indiana, the lessons I've learned, the relationships I've developed, lives I've been allowed to share in. Been so dear to me, and I'm truly thankful. I want to say thank you to all my assistants over the last 25 years. Some of them are here tonight. If you are, please stand up. I got any assistants? You guys go to the bar already? Are you here? Thank you. All the managers we've had over the years, all the assistant coaches I coached with before North Central, all the coaches who coached me. So many to mention. All my teammates, all the trainers, all the athletic directors, and the only team doctor I had in my 25 years at North Central, Dr. Art Reddick. Thank you guys all so much. Thanks to my former players. We have some here today. If there's any out there, could you please stand up for us? Obviously, without you guys, I wouldn't be here today, and I wouldn't be the man I am today without you guys. I've been lucky enough to have coached so many incredible young men who have been great assets in our world today. And when I get a text or a call from you guys, it just fills my heart. Because honestly, when most of them walked out the door, I didn't know if they ever talked to me again. But I'm glad you. For me, basketball started on a dirt court in my backyard on a farm. I was about 6 or 7 years old, and I remember the day my dad, my brother, and myself put that up. I shot my first shot completely over the backboard. I've still got that rim in my garage today. I don't know what it was. I fell in love with that game. I had a neighbor and lifelong friend named Tom who put his first goal up in a hog lot. just truly in a hog lot. The hogs were there also. We didn't have much money. We made our nets ourselves out of baling twine, and then we'd play for the Carmel championship, sectional championship, when we were about 6 or 7 years old. When we were done, we'd quit. The loser would have to sit and watch, and the winner would cut down those nets off that piece of plywood that the hoop was nailed on the side of a shed in the middle of a hog lot in the middle of acres and acres in Hamilton County, Indiana. Well, we lived out that dream because we did that a lot, but we did get to live out that dream. In 1975, we did win the Carmel sectional championship. And to us, back then in the one-class system, that was our state championship. I wasn't sure about my place in life at a younger age, but that one night in single-class basketball, I realized that I belonged. I could beat anybody at anything. And up to that point, when you live in the middle of a cornfield, you're not sure about that. My late parents, though, Babe and Ralph, made sure I knew where I belonged in my life. My father was a staff sergeant in World War II and later became a farmer. As a result, he taught me many lessons: hard work, determined, and attention to detail. My mother taught me persistence and how to be relentless. From the practices she took me to, games she attended, rebounds she tossed back to me, pants she sewed, meals she cooked. I once added up, and I gave her about a 5-year buffer on this. She had cooked over 50,000 meals in her lifetime. I do believe that qualifies as relentless. I could never thank either one of them enough. I had an older brother of 6 years. Gregory was instrumental in my desire not only to play, but to compete. I lost my brother in my senior year in '78 at Butler from complications with pancreatitis. I don't think I ever had a chance to publicly give him my thanks that he so deserves for his hand in any successes I have had in my athletic career or in my life. So thank you, Gregory. My living angel is my sister Jerry, who's here with us today, over at table 14, I believe, Jerry, and I know you don't want me to tell you that. I've come to realize that Jerry is my barometer and my guiding beacon for enduring life no matter what it throws at you, and still give all of yourself to others. Thank you, Jerry. When I was a young coach, it was all about chasing victories and titles and those things, but when it comes time and you realize that you're only there to help people, that was the only reason I was there, and Jerry reminds me that of every day. But the greatest part of all was sharing this with my family. Debbie and I and our 4 kids, Taylor, Bryce, Morgan, and Peyton, we basically raised them in the gym. And then along came the grandkids, Eli and Isaac, to become part of the fun too. That was the best. Coaching our sons, Bryce, was beyond words. The rides to and from school with Bryce, the practices and the memories I'll cherish forever. I wish we could have finished it, but when tragedy struck in 2002 and we lost Bryce in a car accident, it was those life lessons gained through my family and through the game that helped me get through. I don't think I could have gotten through some of the hard times in my life if it weren't for athletics and basketball. Because you learn when you don't think you can take another step, you can. When I would look up in the balcony, Deb, at the North Central games and see you and the girls in your perch, all was good in the universe. Coming home to Debbie and the kids after a game was what made it all worth doing. To do it together, the wins, the losses, the highs and the lows, were only worth anything because of you guys. And then later, when the grandsons came along, riding the bus, being in the team huddle, leading the team out of the locker room, and yes, meeting and dressing down the officials at half court before the game. That was awesome. Don't get me wrong, I love winning, but it wouldn't have been worth anything, nothing, without you guys. So I feel I've lived the Indiana high school basketball dream. To go from playing in a tiny gym in Atlanta, Indiana in the 4th grade to going on to what I believe was the largest gym in the world, Hamilton Heights High School. But then to go on and actually play at Hinkle Fieldhouse for my college days, unreal. And then to coach in places like the Wigwam, the Muncie Fieldhouse, Newcastle Gymnasium, the largest high school gymnasiums in the world. And then to coach the Hozier Dome, in the Hozier Dome for a state championship with my self-proclaimed assistant coach and my 8th grade son then, Bryce, by my side. And later on to coach a state championship in Conseco Fieldhouse. I could have never imagined that little skinny farm kid from Arcadia, Indiana, who started on that dirt court and that hog lot, would end up in the Hall of Fame. I cannot thank you enough. I'm truly humbled and honored to be here today. Thank you.
By the way, that may have been the most civil conversation I've ever seen Doug have with an official, was right there with Mark Boltz. If you ever watch a North Central game, you'd always see the towels waved from the sideline. There was the white, the red, the black, depending on what defense they were switching to. Now you got to think about what towel it's going to be to wave to indicate Hall of Famer. I'll let Doug think about that. And a couple of folks that I know that aren't with us, at least in person, but are here in spirit, that are all smiles tonight. A couple of mutual friends of both of ours, Chuck Richmond and Paul Logan. I know they are both awfully happy with the events this evening. Doug, congratulations. Next up, Craig Neal. Craig was a star at Washington High School, 1983 Indiana All-Star. Averaged nearly 28 points per game. The Hatchets were 25-2 and reached the semi-state finals. Craig scored over 1,400 points in his days at Washington. Went on to play collegiately at Georgia Tech. Played in nearly 130 games, had over 570 career assists, and played in the NCAA tournament 3 times. He had over 300 assists his senior year. As Craig would tell you, he had pretty good teammates to cash in those assists. Craig was drafted in the 3rd round of the NBA draft in 1988 and spent time with Portland, Miami, and Denver. He was a scout and assistant coach with the Raptors for 9 years, then spent time at the University of Iowa and New Mexico with Steve Alford, was the head coach at New Mexico from 2013 to 2017, and once again has teamed up with Steve Alford as he's the associate head coach at the University of Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, Craig Neal.
Well, I don't think Ray knows this, but my basketball journey started in Muncie, Indiana when my dad was a player and I was born. So I spent a lot of time in Muncie, and my dad was also the head coach of Muncie Burris, so it goes way back to there. So unique situation in that point. But I want to thank all you guys, all the inductees. It's been an outstanding day, outstanding night. I want to thank Sam and Steve for putting me up for a nomination, and I want to thank the committee. I wouldn't have thought in a million years that I'd even be put in front of the committee, let alone be selected. So I do want to thank them for their great work and just an amazing job they do at the Hall of Fame, which is awesome. I'm extremely and humbled by this. Like I said, I grew up and was born in Muncie, Indiana, and then my dad was the head coach of Muncie Burris, and then we moved to Washington. And all he told me was, small city, big gym. And he was right, small city, big gym. But Washington was an unbelievable place. I want to thank all the people from Washington, my ex-teachers, my ex-coaches, and I played 4 sports in high school, so there was a lot of coaches that were a part of my life, and my dad was also my coach. So it's the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child, and that village was Washington, and it definitely helped me do that. I mean, they shaped me into the man I am today, and I appreciate that so much. And I grew up in a great place. I played for my dad there. Everybody knows my dad was a great player at Ball State, and he was a really good high school coach, and I don't know why he's not up here and I'm up here, but that's something I have to work on. But there was 2 things back then, and everybody knows this. Gary knows it. Some of you old-time coaches know. I had 2 fears when I grew up. One was the fear of God, and the other one was losing on Friday or losing on Saturday. So that was always what I was thinking about. I'd like to thank my college coach. I was very fortunate to play at Georgia Tech for Bobby Crimmins. I had a great roommate that pushed me to be the best player I could be in Mark Price, who was an NBA All-Star. We had great teams there, so I want to thank those teammates. I had a great time in Atlanta, but I still missed Indiana very much. It was very difficult at the time. I've been counting all the times, I listened to these guys and where they played in the 25th year anniversary team or the silver anniversary team. Thank goodness he didn't name all the places I played, because I went and played for popcorn sometimes in all kinds of places. So I was calculating. I played in 28 different teams when I grew up. In the pros, I played all over the country. But the thing that brings me back the most of all those 28 teams, and one of my teammates is here, was my 1983 Washington Hatchet team that was really good, and we got upset in the semi-state. And then my 1983 Indiana All-Star team. And I think Scotty Hicks is still here, but those are the things that I remember the most. And then I've been very fortunate. I got done playing when I was 30, and I've spent the last 28 years coaching and scouting. I got to thank Isaiah Thomas and Glenn Grunwald, former Indiana players that hired me at Toronto. They gave me an opportunity. And then all of us guys know that happy wife, happy life. My wife made me get out of the NBA as a coach and made me get into college basketball. So she kind of put her foot down, and I changed direction, went to college. I was blessed that Sam Alford was retiring at Iowa, and Steve and I have known each other since the 3rd grade, and he's hired me. The unique thing about my coaching career is I've only worked for 2 people. I worked for Lenny Wilkins, and I worked for Steve Alford. Lenny was a Hall of Fame player and a Hall of Fame coach. And then I've worked for Steve now going on 14 plus years. We took a break from each other when he went to be the coach at UCLA, and I was the head coach at New Mexico. So I've been very blessed. He's taken care of me over all the years, and he's made me a better person, a better coach, a better husband, and a better man. So I want to thank him very much. Lastly, I got my table over there, table 15. Of course, I said my dad coached me, and all you guys know that playing for your dad's not always great, but he made me who I am as a player. He made me who I am as a coach. Probably the greatest coach I've ever had. So, I appreciate him for that. My mom was my biggest fan. She was the shoulder to cry on. She always took care of me. She was my protector, my confidant, and always there for me, so that was unique. Then I have my brothers here. I think one of my best memories in basketball was climbing up the ladder, my first sectional win, and cutting down the net with him when he was a 6th grader. Then my sister, she's not able to be here. I'm sorry she couldn't make it, but she's not able to be here, but she's a big part of my support group. And then I have really proud of my 2 kids. Cullen's here with his wife. He finally he married, and we have our first grandchild. He finally married a really good player in college that scored over 1,000 points, and she's the best shooter in the family right now. So she's the one with the last championship. She won a championship in pros in Europe, so she's the last one. But thankful for them, and I was very blessed that Steve helped me get the New Mexico job, and I was able to coach my son in college, which is an unbelievable experience, and I'll never forget it. Probably one of the greatest experiences of my life, being able to coach him. Then my youngest son, Dalton, he was supposed to be here, but I told him he probably needed to stay put. He's a 1st lieutenant in the 82nd Airborne, and we got a lot of things going on, so I thought it was important for him to stay back. And he has a really tough job because he's in charge of 4,000 soldiers that he has to take care of, and so it was important for him to stay there. So then lastly, my wife. I met her in Fort Wayne when I was playing for the Fury, and I got to thank Jay Fry, because Jay Fry convinced me to go into coaching. I was a player coach for the Fury, but I met my wife of 29 years now, and I have to thank her for everything. She's my rock. She's our family's rock, but she gave up her dreams to follow mine, and she raised 2 beautiful kids with myself. I didn't do a lot. I appreciate what you did, did, honey. So she's been a coach's wife forever. She's always been there for us. But again, I can't thank you enough for this honor. It's the best honor bestowed on any of us that grew up in Indiana, and it's my greatest honor, and I appreciate it. This is for my family, and I really appreciate being selected to the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
You can probably tell that Craig has spent 30 years in scouting or being an assistant coach, because immediately when it comes to who his son married, he goes to recruiting. He's thinking about the bloodline from a talent standpoint. And I'll have Chris May check this, but I also believe you'll be the first person in the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame known affectionately as Noodles. So congratulations on that as well. Now, you referenced Scott Hicks. Scotty, it's good to see you here tonight. I've been calling Scotty's name a lot the last couple of weeks as I have followed the Cathedral Fighting Irish throughout the course of the postseason. I'll have his Irish coming up again on Saturday night. And since Ray was kind enough to hearken back to the days of Channel 4, nothing against the good folks at CBS 4. If you go to Channel 4 on Saturday night, you'll be disappointed. The state finals aren't on there. Go to Bally Sports Indiana Extra because of the Pacers game. I'll give you my cell phone. Just text me. I'll let you know what system you got and where you can find the game. But Scott's going to get a shout out on the broadcast as well because he held the scoring record at Cathedral High School for 39 years. It was passed 2 weeks ago by Tayshawn Comer, who's the starting guard at Cathedral as they play in the upcoming championship game. I want to thank our crew from the ISC Sports Network. I know their names, so I'll reference them. Robin and Dennis on camera, Alan and Jordan behind the scenes. For those that could not make it tonight, they have been watching via the same feed that you are watching right now. Y'all want to turn and wave at the camera, feel free. Anybody who might be watching at home this evening. But I also kind of give the video guys a heads up because we have one person that could not be here tonight. He has a very good doctor's note as to why he can't be. He's trying to coach his team to the Final Four for the first time in 42 years. That would be Matt Painter. This is amazing to think that it's been 17 years since Coach Katie retired at Purdue, but that's how long Matt's been coaching in West Lafayette now, is 17 years. The Boilermakers will make their 6th Sweet 16 appearance under the leadership of Coach Painter. They've made the NCAA tournament 13 times in those 17 years. They've won the Big Ten regular season 3 times. They've also won the Big Ten tournament once during his days at Purdue. Matt is now the 2nd winningest coach in Purdue history. He was the 2019 NABC National Coach of the Year, and he has been named the Big Ten Coach of the Year on 4 previous occasions. Of course, Matt played at Purdue, senior captain of a team that made the Elite 8, and remains amongst the program leader in career assists. At Delta High School, he was just shy of 1,500 career points. As a senior, he averaged just under 28 points a game, almost had a triple-double. 27-7, 9.6 rebounds, 7.4 assists a game. He led the Eagles to a 21-4 record his senior year, a sectional championship, and was a 1989 Indiana All-Star. Again, we should be happy Matt's not here. He's busy coaching. He did have time to record a video message, so please put your attention to the video board, and we will hear a message from Coach Painter.
First off, I'd like to congratulate my fellow inductees and thank the Hall of Fame Selection Committee for this honor. It is an honor to be included in this class and to be placed along these outstanding individuals, coaches, players, and administrators. Basketball in this state is as good as it gets, and I have the utmost respect for the individuals that have received this honor, and to be included with all of them is very humbling. There are too many people to thank for this honor in the short time that I have, but I will do my best. First, I'd like to recognize my family that has been with me for a great part of this journey. I would not have these opportunities without the support of my parents, my wife Sherry, and our children. Second are the coaches in my career who have made a profound impact on who I am today. My high school coach, Stan Doherty, who gave me the confidence with his belief in me as a player. My coach at Purdue, Gene Cady, who instilled a competitive spirit and passion for the game that still burns today. I would also like to thank the head coaches that I have worked for in the college game. The late Tom Ryder, Dave Davis, Rick Samuels, Bruce Weber, and obviously Gene Cady. Next, I'd like to recognize the players that I've been fortunate enough to lead. The coach is only as good as the players that he has. Everyone knows it's a player's game. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those players. I've been lucky to coach at such an outstanding institution, Purdue University, that molds its students into terrific young men on and off the court, and I'm honored to call many of them my friends still today. This is truly an honor to be recognized tonight, and I am thankful for all the support I have received from so many outstanding people. Without all of you, this would not be possible. Thank you very much.
And here's to hoping that Matt has 4 more wins left to pick up this season. Somebody from an alphabetical standpoint always has to be last. Mr. Williams, I am sorry, but I hope this is worth the wait. Ladies and gentlemen, our final honoree of the evening is John Sherman Williams. John was a Washington Continental, and he turned that into an All-American career as an Indiana State Sycamore. John averaged over 21 points and 9 rebounds per game as a high school sophomore. That number bumped up to 27 and 11 by his senior year. He was a 1982 Indiana All-Star. The Continentals won a sectional title in 1980 before being knocked out in the regional round by the Broad Ripple Rockets. In 82, the Continentals also made the regional finals. Again, there's a Scott Hicks reference for you, before they lost to Cathedral in the regional. His senior year, John was the leading scorer in the city of Indianapolis. That would continue over to Indiana State University, where he finished with over 2,300 career points. He was a leading scorer at Indiana State in all 4 of his years. He earned all Missouri Valley Conference 4 times and was a 3-time All-American. His senior year, he was 5th in the nation, 25 points per game. He completed his college career 3rd in the history of Missouri Valley Conference in scoring. The 2 players in front of him you probably have heard of. They're both from this state too. Oscar Robertson and Larry Bird. In 2007, he was named as one of the 50 greatest players in Missouri Valley Conference history. These days, he's employed at Heritage Christian School, and he resides in Fishers. Ladies and gentlemen, John Sherman Williams.
I'm very thankful and humbled to be here this evening. And growing up, I never dreamed that I would be sharing this experience with such great honorees, especially going to a high school like Indianapolis, Washington, that has such a great tradition of basketball, and a lot of great players. George McGinnis, Steve Downey, Ralph Taylor, Billy Keller, and the list goes on and on. There's so many people that I would like to thank that have played a big part of this in my basketball journey that landed me here in the Basketball Hall of Fame, class of 2022. First of all, I want to thank my Heavenly Father. None of this could be possible without Him. He gave me all the ability, and He opened up so many doors and brought so many people along my path to allow me to become the basketball player and the man that I am. I want to thank my wife. I want to thank Gabe. She's been such a rock for me, been very supportive. I want to thank my son, Jay. I want to thank my daughter, Jazz. Jazz, thank you so much for sacrificing those early morning practices over at Heritage Christian and for the 2 or 3 years, and appreciate that. I want to thank my mom, who's not able to be here tonight. And also I want to thank my sister, Dee. Dee, my sister, she was the one who would take me to see her play when she was at Washington High School, and just kind of was my introductory to basketball. And she, along with her boys, Kusi, Verge, and Steve. I also want to pay special tribute to my dad and my sister, oldest sister. I want to pay special tribute also to Mary Johnson and Marsha Johnson, who aren't able to be here with us. So many people, as far as my coaches from middle school to college to high school, that played a part of this. My high school coach, Coach Alfredo, who was a great mentor. And despite the rumors that he was going to make me pay for the backboard I broke my sophomore year, that we can put that to rest. I want to thank my college coaches that are here, Coach Shellhouse, Coach Hoover. Coach Shellhouse was a man of his word. When he recruited me, he told me that he would give me an opportunity to play as a freshman, and he did. He stood by his word. And also I want to thank Coach Hoover, who taught me the importance of staring that individual in the eye and giving them a firm handshake. And I remember when I first met Coach Hoover, and he showed me that, he shook my hand, and I thought I was never going to be able to play basketball because my hand was going to break because he was so strong. I want to thank my teammates who pushed me every day in practice and made me work hard and brought out the best in me. And I want to thank my opponents. In particular, I want to thank my cousin, who's more like a brother to me, Scott Hicks. Love you, Big Hall. Appreciate everything, man. Thanks for pushing me. Thanks for kicking my butt in one-on-ones. And if we had a chance to do it over again, I would give you the money to allow me to beat you. So, so thanks. It's been a great journey with basketball, and just so thankful to be here. And I also want to thank a special tribute to the K family, the Broderick family, the Deaton family, and the Johnson family. If I can have them to stand up, they're over at the table. The K family, thank you guys so much. Yeah. These families have allowed me to mentor their young men in the sport of basketball and to play a big part of their lives, just like I had coaches to mentor me and to bring out the best in me as far as my basketball skills. Last of all, I want to thank a good friend of mine, Billy Powell, in the Indiana High School basketball community for selecting me and choosing me to be able to be a part of such a great honor. God bless and have a good evening.
John, I can tell you where Coach Hoover learned that handshake from. And that was a previous Indiana State assistant in the late, great Mel Daniels. I shook Mel's hand in 2002. It still hurts to this day. That's exactly where that came from. Jerry Pearson has already made his way from the back of the room to the front. At this banquet 6 months ago, Jerry was sitting next to me. So apparently, Mark, when you're a past president, you go all the way to the back of the room, just so you know that that is coming. But normally this is where the president would officially induct these gentlemen up here in these great tuxes into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. But since Mark is amongst that group tonight, we're going to welcome back our past president up to the podium and Jerry Pearson to make this official. Jerry?
Well, what do you think we wrap this evening up tonight, this wonderful evening? How about that? I would like the inductees up here on the top shelf to please stand. And on behalf of the Board of Directors and as immediate past president, I officially welcome you and induct you into the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you all again for attending this wonderful banquet and induction ceremony. Be careful as you drive home tonight. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Jerry.
Okay, thank you. Good job, man.